Mm, 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 mm. Hey y'all, let's let's talk about Pray Away on Netflix. Let's give people a chance to come on in. I watched this last night and I really was quite perplexed by the show. I wasn't surprised at all. Hey, Ready Rock, how are you? I wasn't surprised at anything, but it was quite interesting to watch. I guess to watch. One of the elements, what it's about, it is a show that is about Pray Away. It's about conversion therapy and the history of conversion therapy and how people have created a whole organization and monetized converting people from the LGBT lifestyle. And so it's a whole documentary. It is produced by Ryan Murphy. It is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So let me say hey to everybody. Hey, Ty, how are you? Hey, Brandon, how are you? Hey, Ren. Hey, Samantha. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Kuro? Kuroyama? Is that how you say it? Um, Lovely. Finally caught alive. Hey, I'm in my auntie moo titties hanging, baby, like your almost like your grandma, baby, but I ain't nobody's grandmother, so we gonna be auntie. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, this is going to be interesting. Yes. Excuse me. Ah. Oh, y'all want to see my new little friend, baby? Where you at? Come on, come on, come on, show 'em. Don't be acting scared now. Come on, come on, come on. Say hi. Say hey. Y'all hear how loud she purrs? Her purrs are loud as hell for her to be so little. What's your tea? No, I did not adopt her. She is actually just a stray cat. There is a cat that I feed, um, that got pregnant, and she had her babies outside, like outside my door. My neighbors have like a bunch of plants and shit, like pot. You know they Mexicans, so they be having, they be growing all type of shit and all that. Um, and so she had her babies like between their pots. And so since she had the babies there, they kind of been running around my door. And so they come in the door, they come in the house, and I be feeding them. And what's wild is the mother is, she's scary. Like she won't come in the house. She'll, if I come outside the door, she'll be, you know, she'll know that, oh, this bitch sometimes feed me. So hey, what's the tea? So she'll come, but she won't let me touch her. Like she'll come by me, but if I try to reach my hand out to touch her, she zips on. Like, girl, gone, don't be touching me. But what's crazy is her kids, like her kids. ain't scared of me at all. So they come, if I open the door, they come in the house, they jump on my lap, they they will climb on me if I'm walking, like I'm coming from a store or coming from being out all night and I'm walking and they hear my keys, you'll hear them running towards me. And it's funny because when I open the door, usually the mama would kind of come to the door like, "Hey, is you trying to feed us today?" But now, because they come in, like they're not scared of me at all, and she is, I guess, I don't know if she's scared, but she just don't want me to touch her. And she won't come like through the door. She'll come by the door, like right at the threshold, but she won't come in. But the kids come in. So now that they not scared, but she know I got the food, she'll like bite them and scratch them. Like, you know how cats like chastise their kids? She'll like bite them and scratch them like, bitch, get away from the door. Get away. She won't even let them get through the door, even though she's not even though she won't come through. She know if they come through, they're gonna get all the vittles. So she'll be sitting right there like, "Ah, ah, get away," and won't let them get through the door. Cause she know they gonna get all the vittles because she too scared to come in, which is hilarious to me. I was like, bitch, just cause you acting funny, don't be hating on them. Cause they know Auntie Diamond Honey. She's so cute. Come on, baby. All right. Here. And then I let her come in and eat, and then, honey, put her right and put her right back outside, baby, because we don't have no pets. I don't have time for them to be a permanent thing. So what's going on in y'all life? Thank you, Diego. I have a kitty as well. I got her 5 months ago. She tears up my toilet paper every morning, and I'm pissed. You need one of them covers so she can't get to it, or get her something to play with. Mm, I'm trying to make sure her kitten's got some home training. It's not going to embarrass her in these streets. Right. Don't be running through these people's house like I don't feed you. I remember my mama used to say that. Don't be going over there asking for nothing to eat like I'm starving you. Because my great aunt used to throw down. She used to, so my mama was a type that she would cook. My mama could cook down, but she would cook when she feel it. My aunts and shit, like my older aunts, they're older generation. They would cook all the fucking time. So they always got something in the refrigerator, honey, that feels like Thanksgiving leftovers. So I come over there and be like, can I get some of that? And my mother would be annoyed because my aunts would immediately be like, well, are you feeding these kids? What you feeding them? You can't be giving them burgers. You gotta give them food. My cat will eat, go out the front door, and immediately go to the back door and cry for food. Petty. Well, I don't, every time I come out the door, I try not, I don't always feed them because I don't want them to associate eating with the door. So they all be at the door crying and shit. No, we're not doing that. Oh, it's not my cat. She's just a stray. I don't call her anything. I say, hey, kitty. Hey, sugar pie. Sugar pie. Yeah, I'll call her sugar pie. Hey, sugar pie. Sugar pie, yeah. In that high voice. Hey, sugar pie. And she'll come running. She has a brother, but her brother's not scared of me. But when he would come in the house, when I would close the door, like right now, I had the door closed, so he can't go. So she can't go back outside until I open the door. Him, if he comes, if he comes in the door and I close the door, he'll get to whining like, let me let me out, and go by the door like, ah. But now he's realizing that, oh, she got the vittles. But he done already pissed me off, so I don't be letting him in. I said, "Oh, you want to bitch and bitch and moan and want to be outside? So keep your ass outside." So I'll let her in, and she'll come through the door, and I'll close it, and he'll be out there like, "Oh, I could be getting something to eat right now. Okay, I'll come." And he'll be trying to pop the door open. Nah, nigga, stay outside. Remember when you was whining and hollering and all that shit? Stay your funky ass outside. But honey, she always been cool. So she comes in and get her vittles, and I put her back outside. And he bigger than her because he a boy. I misgender cats all the time. They always are girls. Yeah, I can tell that she's fish about it. She's dainty. She's actually small like her mother. Her mother is like one of the smallest girl cats around here. But she's all black and got a big old tail. I think I posted a video of her on my Instagram before. I think. So yes. So let's start. What time is it? Yes, it's been 12 minutes. So let's start. So if y'all haven't watched the documentary, it is about conversion therapy. And so we know that from like the 70s, there there has been this like 70s and 80s, there has been this movement in the church to monetize being able to have the tactics and being able to convert people from being gay to being straight. Good luck. Um and they go through the history and they already start off with the noise. So when it starts off, there's this big, I don't know if they are Latinx or white, I don't know. Maybe white passing Latinx, I don't know. But they're coming, they're walking, they have this sign called Trans to Christ. And basically in their pictures, I thought I was transgender and now I'm a man. Jesus saved me from the transgender lifestyle and now I'm a man. So she's holding a sign. He's holding a sign. He's holding a sign of when he was trans, when he was living his life as a girl and prostituting and and having sex with men, fornicating and all the stuff, and then to Christ and his pictures of him as a boy, delivered from homosexuality, delivered from being transgender, delivered. We saw how Miss I'm Delivered tuned out. It doesn't work. Ain't Andrew Codwell still on that? Um, so she's literally coming up to people at the store, like at a store, like a grocery store, and she's showing them the sign of how she got delivered from Christ. Can she pray? Does anybody need prayer? Can she pray for you or can y'all pray with me? Oh, the person that wanted to pray with randoms. Yes, that was, I don't know if, I don't want to say it's weird, but I don't know. It's like, it feels like psychological warfare to me, y'all. It feels like These are tactics that you are using. Are you done? Okay. That's all you want? You done? You ready to go outside? You ready to go out? Huh? Oh, so she said no. She laid down and stretched. So it just feels like tactics to play that game. I don't know. It just feels weird. It feels like I don't know. I just look at the church shit and we would get those people at Walmart. Where do you live, Diego? I've had people, like Jehovah Witness try to come and give you like a watchtower, little pamphlet. I've had people, I've just never had somebody come and say, "Oh, can I pray for you?" Bitch, no. Who the fuck are you? I don't know. And I'm voodoo witchy. I don't want to fuck you. You don't need to do any. I don't know who you praying to. You don't need to do nothing to me. I don't need you to pray, speak. I don't need your ancestors. I don't need nothing that you got going on. You speaking over my life. No, get out of here. I don't like any of that. I don't like anybody who I'm not spiritually connected to praying over me and putting their hands on me because I feel like that shit has power. And if your shit is toxic, that shit can seep into my spiritual being. Get the fuck out of here. No, don't fucking come up and ask me to pray. And they, which was a great part of which is a great part of the show. There was one moment because if you do that, like if you say anything against them, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's the devil, even evil spirit in you." You feel what I'm saying? That's the devil, evil spirit in you. That's like he was talking. So some mama who has a trans child called him and was like, "I don't want to accept this. I know my child is a boy." And she was on her Angela Snotton shit. I know my child is a boy. I had a boy, and da da da. That transgender shit is fake, and y'all not. They're not gonna try to do that. And he was like, "Yes, that is a demon, a strong demon." And so, any type of rebuttal that you give them, they're gonna blame it on the devil. They're gonna blame it on a demon. They're gonna blame it on something. So there's really no way to have a real conversation. There's no That's why when people say you gotta talk things out, certain levels of ridiculousness, I can't talk it out with you. Like there's no compromise. It's really no compromising with you because of the level of how you think. It's different if we are trying to work together and there's a waxing and waning of our not necessarily beliefs, but how we are going to be in community with each other. But sometimes people are like, "Oh, you're not compromising or you're not being accommodating for my beliefs." That's because your beliefs literally is totally opposite of me. It's totally you saying I'm a demon. So I feel like this, let's call it since they call it a lifestyle, I feel like this lifestyle choice, because I've said this in multiple videos, what's a choice is living your truth. The actual state of being trans or state of being gay or the attraction to somebody who is out of the norm of what society say is heterosexual, cis heteronormative sexuality. In that regards, the attraction and the feeling of this identity is not for me, that is natural. That is what's not the choice. The choice is actually living that truth out. Actually saying, if I'm a gay man, I am a homosexual man who is sexually attracted to men. And I am going to act like I know. And I'm going to act on the idea that this is okay. I'm going to affirm the idea that this is a part of my identity. This is a part of my natural inclination to be, and it is okay. And I'm going to act like it's okay. And I'm going to act on it. I'm going to be in love with men. I'm going to pursue romantic relationships with men. I'm going to pursue sex with men. This is what it is. That to act on that behavior is a choice, but the attraction, the thing that y'all are calling a demon, the thing that y'all are calling, that's the devil. That's a homosexual spirit. That is naturally in queer people. Now, I know they were conflating a lot of times, lumping it all together, gender identity and sexual orientation. But we know, because we don't have 101 conversations here, we know there's a difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. We know that. If you don't know that, Mother Googles. Mother Googles can give you all the basic 101 conversation that your little heart desires. So yes, there's a difference between, but in the context of them, the church people, they lump us all together. So there's no difference between gender identity. There is no and sexual orientation for them. They think that when you say I'm transgender and I'm a straight woman, I'm transgender and I'm straight because I'm a woman and I like men. They feel like, no, you're a man. You're a man, and you're a man because you were born a male, and we know the difference between sex and gender. I think a lot of times, particularly allied conversations around sex and gender. I'm kind of rambling, but stay with me. Allied, and I'm saying allied, people who are on our side, sometimes in those conversations where their intention is to be in support of us, sometimes their conversation, sometimes they conflate not just allies, sometimes trans people and gay people too. But anyway, so there's for me, my own ideology, just so y'all understand, there is a distinct difference between sex and gender. So sex is what happens on a biological level. What your chromosomes are naturally as you come out the womb. And gender is how you culturally perform your gender expression or sexual expression, how you culturally perform it. Okay? So that's man and woman. Your sex is female and male. I'm one of those people. I'm not here to tell you how other trans people deem themselves, how other queer people deem themselves, how gay people deem themselves. I'm telling you about me just so you can have an understanding of how I think when you're listening to me. And it might help you understand some things a little better when you're listening to other people. It's not intended to replace their opinion about their own shit. I want that to be clear. So for me, I do not claim to be a female. I don't claim to be the sex of female. So when you'll never hear me say, I'm a transgender female. No, I am a transgender woman because my gender is woman. My sex is not female. I am under no delusions that I am a female. I know what my chromosomes were, and what my chromosomes were is that I was supposed to be a male. That's not supposed to be, that's what it came out. Now, I do believe, it's not I don't believe it, or I'm believe it. I know there's facts in science within my body that I have had doctors tell me. There is a intersex element to my chemical makeup. So, but at the end of the day, if we draw the line, my chromosome leaned towards male. Okay. So I don't consider myself a female. I consider myself a woman. I grew from a little boy There was some incongruency in my body and mind that weren't matching up, and I felt a certain way about how I was supposed to be, how I was supposed to navigate the world. It was not matching what I felt, what I saw was not matching what everybody's expectations were. And so when I realized that there was an incongruency and there was a way that I can get it congruent through my gender expression, through hormones, through surgery, through I could actually get my body congruent with my mind. I decided that part was that part was natural. It was a natural incongruency. I decided to make the choice to make those changes so that my mind and body can be in alignment. Does that? I hope that makes sense. It's 101 too, but but how I think about it. That's why I have no problem with, I know I was born a male. I know there was a part of my life where I identified as a boy and didn't realize my transness until I got to like 5, 6, when I started to feel like there was something not connecting with the expectations of me and what I was feeling. And then from 5 to 13, I figured out, oh, I can actually do this. I'm like, okay, so I'm a girl in my mind. I have to figure out how to get there at 13. So of course it doesn't, you don't just switch. You can if you have the support, but I didn't have the full support. But at 13, that's when I was like, okay, now I'm gonna have to ease this on to people, ease this on to get comfortable and ease this on. So I'm getting my nails done, my clothes is getting tighter, my dyeing my hair blonde, wearing makeup. You get what I'm saying? Experimenting sexually with boys, having friends that have the same mentality as me, sneaking to the club. You get what I'm saying? And then so by the time I get to, high school, you know what I'm saying? I'm clearly know that I'm queer. I clearly know that I'm not supposed to be some regular boy. And, over the time period, I become a full-time, full living girl into a young woman. I have no disillusions that I was not born what I was. And I don't think any trans people. Now, let me see. How can I say this respectfully? Now, there are some trans people who they have a different level of dysphoria than I do. Okay? There are some people with severe dysphoria. Like severe dysphoria to where they can't even look at their bodies in the mirror. Severe dysphoria to where their genitalia to them is just a defect. And so they need to get surgeries to fix the defect. Tamara Mowry has said she doesn't want homosexuals in cartoons because she doesn't want her kids to be exposed or thinking about genitalia. That's really weird because your children have genitalias. They are thinking about it at 2 years old. They are knowing their gender is being taught to them, and they're understanding their gender as early as 2 years old. So they know what their body is doing. They know that my private parts is different than the other people's private parts. Early on. You having them in the tub with you and they see that you don't have a dangling thing, and they do. Oh, mommy, I'm 3 years old. Oh, mommy, why does mommy's genitalia looks flat? and mine is poking out. Nothing about sexual at all. It's just the obvious fucking observation of their eyes. Just mommy's private parts are flat. Ooh, and if I have a father in my life, daddy's private parts are similar to mine. They're having these thoughts already. They're already exposed to genitalia. So what is a queer cartoon not doing? We're not now. I don't want, if I have children, if I had children, I don't want queer sex happening in my cartoons. No, but queer characters, I don't mind that. If we're talking, oh, I'm however, whatever, because cartoons already have romance. They already have, but people like that, they don't understand. I'm trying to see if how can I explain this? I got SRS as soon as I could. I had so much dysphoria about my genitalia. Having SRS opened up a whole lot of other issues, complications. However, I'm happy to look in the mirror now. Yes, bam. Yeah, some people have a whole different level of dysphoria. I didn't look in the mirror and hate my body. I didn't have that level of dysphoria. I looked in the mirror and said, this ain't how it's supposed to look. Like, I'm like, I know this is what I was given, but this ain't, this don't feel right to me. And I'm also like a moon in Capricorn. I have and a Pisces, a sun in Pisces. So I'm dreamy, but I'm also like, ooh, strategic, logical. And so in my mind, once I had that thing like, oh, this ain't what it's supposed to be. And then I'm meeting people and seeing people that are actually doing things to change it. Oh, this can be changed. Aha. It started to be a project. It started to be a goal. Like, oh, I can change this shit. Previously, it was like, oh, it is what it is. It's nothing that can happen. But I'm like, oh, I can change this shit. It's shit that I can do. I can go get breast. I can get on hormones. I can do some shit. Oh, cool. Now it's not any kind of, now my focus is not oh, woe is me. My body doesn't match my mind. Oh, now it's like, oh, I got a goal to reach. Now I'm determined. It's not, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's no longer I'm looking in the mirror and depressed. It's like, I can't wait to, how do I want my titties? I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I get them. And now it's a goal. Like, oh, do I want them to be this big, that big? Do I want them to look like this? Do I want them to look like that? And now I'm too focused on the results of my goal to be thinking, oh my God, my body is not where it's supposed to be. That's not how my mind works. My mind works like, once I have a goal, I'm celebrating the steps to get there. It's not I don't stay in depression once I have a plan. That's the easiest way for me to get out of a depression of something that can be goal oriented. I create the goal. Once I create the goal, then I'm just on the steps to get into the goal. Even if I got obstacles and roadblocks, I know where my goal is. So I'm not even thinking about you feel what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about the past no more. That's how it works for me in my mental. But anyway, I don't went all over a tangent, so I forgot my main point. Oh yeah, so the whole gender and sex thing. So I'm not under any kind of illusion, or that's also why I'm not ashamed of my past. Like, I'm not ashamed of people knowing I'm trans. Also, why when like cisgender women say, "Oh, you trying to be what I am," I'm not actually trying to be what you are. I'm actually trying to be a trans woman. And that's not what you are. You're a cis woman. I'm actually trying to be a trans woman. Now I know that we got some overlap look because I'm a human and this is how humans socialize. And I'm going to present how humans, however they present. You know what I'm saying? And so being that I'm identified as a human woman, I'm going to present like a human woman. So you a human woman. So it's going to look like that I'm mimicking you, but I'm actually okay with being a trans woman. I'm not mimicking you. I'm trying to be the best diamond that I can be. And most of the time, and this is not being shady, but it is kind of no shade, but shade. Most of the women that say to me, you're trying to be me, I wouldn't want to be you. You are the worst example of what I will ever want to be. Like, I don't, you, now, if somebody like, Beyonce, Lupita Nyong'o, somebody sickening says I want to be them, even though I don't want to be them. At least it's like, damn, you bitches is bad bitches. But most of the people that get in, most pretty ass bitches don't be on that bullshit with me. They like, yes, bitch. It's like bitch, we pretty ass bitches. You killing it. It's it's the bad, Bill, ugly, dusty, broke, unaccomplished bitches that be like, oh, you want to be me? Bitch, I don't, you of all the people, you. But you know, I'm not trying to be shady. But yes, I'm not trying to be anything. I know, I know that I am a trans woman. I want to be a trans woman. I enjoy the space. I have also gotten to the point where I am comfortable with being where I am without like getting a sex change, without any. I am literally comfortable with where I am. Only even like with SRS, the only thing right now that would convince me to get SRS is I actually don't want to be. I know that I'm probably going to get older. I hope to get older. I hope my health leads me to be an older, beautiful, aging gracefully trans woman in the community. I want to be that. But I also don't want to be a burden to my family. And I'm not going to have children, likely. So you got Miss Majors out here making babies at 86. But I don't know. I don't think that I'm going to have children. And so I don't want to be a burden to my family. So if I have to be in a nursing home, I don't want to be the tranny in the nursing home, the chick with a dick in the nursing home. I would be much more comfortable and feel less vulnerable to somebody trying to mistreat me if I had a sex change. I know that seem kind of weird, but they mistreat cisgender people in these nursing homes. And one of my imagined fears is I'm in a nursing home and these motherfuckers taking pictures of the old tranny chick with a dick and putting them somewhere. That is a fear of mine. And so to avoid that kind of situations when I get older, then I could, you know, do the whole sex change thing just because I'm getting older and I didn't want to be in a situation like that. Does that make sense? But right now at 40, I have no interest. I have no interest in SRS. But anyway, back back to the show. So that is what you are. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Oh my God, that's a sick thought, Diamond. But it's a reality. It's something. It's sick, but it's possibly it's something that could possibly happen. They mistreat old people, and if anybody is if they're mistreating cisgender old people, how you think they're gonna treat the transgender old person? You come to me, I'll help take care of you. I don't want you to think about going because someone has to care for you. Yeah, I don't know. It just yeah. Mm-mm. And then you're really really vulnerable when you're older. You know, just like when you're younger, you're really really vulnerable. And I don't want to be a burden to my family, so they rape old people in nurses' home. There has been numerous stories. Unfortunately, it's a reality. Yes. I mean, y'all remember a couple of years ago that that paraplegic, I hope that's the right word. Please don't ableist me. I think that's the right word. Paraplegic. That got pregnant and she's somebody who that was in a coma or something, and she got pregnant because somebody was having sex with her, one of the workers. I remember that, like maybe was it like 4 or 5 years ago? Be careful with cans; they can cut their mouth. I think how I open it, it doesn't do that. But thank you. If anyone is prepping for SRS, I want you to know that hair removal to prep for surgery hurts like a bit, so be prepared for it. Actually, that's actually old school. Hair removal before surgery is old school. New age people are you don't need hair removal. They're actually removing the follicles within your surgery. That's old school. 17 years in a coma and deliver a baby. I got my SRS at 37. I'm now 56. I got FFS 2 weeks ago. I am just living the best life I know myself. My gay mom just got her SRS like a year ago. Um, she had some complications, but she's living her best life too. I'm like, whatever works for you, get it, girl. I'm living my best life now. They follicle scrape now. Yeah, they don't do well, some people do, but that's old school. Yeah, that's old school, Isabel. Doctors, up to date doctors are saying, don't worry about that, baby. We got you. But yeah, so these people, and there's a weird self righteous, going back to the show, Pray Away. There is a weird ass self righteous. Hey, Reggie. There is a weird ass. You see, Reggie is not green anymore. He's blue because he's a moderator. No, I keep, because they are a moderator. It's the Reggie that gets me. I apologize. It's the Reggie that gets me because they are a moderator. They scraped my follicles in Thailand. No electrolysis needed. Yeah, that's the more up to date technique. There are other advantages to SRS than just cosmetic. Yeah, if it works for you. Them, they really play me. No, I just think they're, some people don't know. If your man loves you, you don't need SRS, honey. Jeanette Darling, people are not getting SRS for men. What are you talking about? What does that have to do with anything? I hope they're not. I hope. Now, if you are, poor thing. Baby, imagine doing anything for a nigga. They're too inconsistent. There are too inconsistent. And no shade. If I'm gonna keep it real, every sex change I know told me that they have had guys that they were fucking with before, stop fucking with them after. Not every single one, but a lot of them stop fucking with them after. So if you were trying to do it for men, child. Reminds me of Electra storyline. Yes, that's what it is. My ex tried to convince me not to go on testosterone because he didn't like the look of bottom growth because it looked like a penis. I know that's right. Which ironically is what you want it to look like, right? If you know why you with a trans person if you don't understand that this is the shit that we want. That's so crazy to me. Yeah. What are you doing? I hope you got out of that situation, Diego. I don't know. I just don't. I ain't never done nothing for no dude. I know that I know girls who have said that they transition for guys. And when I hear them say that, I think like, oh, you're just a gay man. I don't say that, but in my mind, if you tell me you transition for guys, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so you're not. I won't ever say this out loud to them, but if they tell me that, I'm thinking that you're just a gay man. That like a souped up gay man. You just got titties and work to be able to get a certain type of trade. That's never been my experience. Like I was able to get, and this may sound weird, and I'm not trying to, but I felt like, girl, I was getting straight niggas when I was a boy because they were resonating with my woman. To me, we can debate on, well, that don't make them straight. Well, I don't care about that. But I felt like they were resonating with the woman in me. And so boom, it is what it was. So I never had to do shit. I never had to do shit to get men. How you feel about crossdressers that feel equal to trans women? Exactly how I feel, just like I just said. I feel crossdressers Are this is a fetish for them? And are there men who may be attracted to them that overlap that are attracted to trans women? Absolutely. Especially the men that fetishize us based on our penis. Yes, absolutely. There's some going to be some overlap, but you're still just a souped up gay man, a souped up, a tricked out gay man. You some people go so far to get surgeries, and some people go so far just to dress up, put on a wig. I don't think we are the same thing. I don't think we are the same thing. So it's just different. You ready for a fight? Let me let her out before she shit in my house. All right. Guys were generally mean to me before transition because they thought I was a femme gay boy. But honey, no, I'm a woman. Yeah, I didn't. Now, of course, you had your typical homophobic bullies, but there was some guys that just I felt like they resonated with my woman. You know, and we would have conversations. I just can't think of you as a girl. That's what they would give. Accidentally call me she while we're in classrooms. You get what I'm saying? It just and it wasn't, and even some ones that I didn't hook up with, like it was, that's just what it was. Now, that relationship died a while ago. Good. Love is when a man fully accepts me, takes me out in public, all those things. Oh, Jeanette, you are setting yourself up, baby. If those are your standards, baby, you setting yourself up because there are men who fetishize trans women that will take you out in public, accept you for who you are, but they still are just with you because you're a chick with a dick. So if your bar is that low for love bar, you can fall prey to those type of men. There are men who their sexual prowess is rooted in intimacy and not just wham bam thank you ma'am sex. I think one of the things when I was younger, I had to learn this because I'm thinking that all the dudes who want to fetishize me and use me for sex are just wham bam thank you ma'ams. They're like, oh, I want to come over at 3 o'clock in the morning, stick my dick in your mouth, stick my dick in your butt, get you to stick your dick in my butt, or whatever, however y'all are performing sex, and just hook up and not do any kind of intimate things and leave. But there are men who their own personal sexual prowess is to be intimate with you, to lay up with you, to have great conversations with you. That turns them on just like it turns you on, but they don't want to be in a relationship with you. They are still fetishizing you. I want you to clock that. There are some. Now, I'm not saying so. It's sometimes hard for you to gauge who those sincere people who are ready for a relationship and who's that person that oh I like to. They like to cuddle. That turns them on. They like intimacy, particularly the ones that have had trauma in the back in their past lives, where they didn't get intimacy from their mamas, where they didn't get intimacy from whoever, and you're sitting up there treating them like a king, feeding them and cooking them and rubbing them and touching them. They like all that, but they still don't want to be with you. They want to fuck you. They want that intimacy. They want the therapy that comes with your pussy or your booty hole, whatever one you got. They want the therapy that comes with that. But they don't want you permanently. That's why you'll get caught up in that feeling like, oh, I thought I think well, I want to bring her up. No. Sometimes girls get caught up. They're so thirsty and get caught up in these guys' intimacy, and they're using you. Have you tricking off money? Have you fucking doing dumb shit? It is trans women who date women. Now that's confusing. It's not confusing to me. They like the nobody knows in public feel. It turns them on. Yeah, there are some that are like that. Trans women who like cis women are just lesbians. If you consider yourself, this is the thing about it. If you consider yourself a woman and other trans women, there are going to be some trans women who like cisgender women or other trans women. Those are lesbian trans women. They're going to be. It's not confusing. They're just lesbian. Because we know there's a difference between gender identity and sexual orientation. So if I have the gender identity of a trans woman, but I like other women, like trans women or cisgender women, I'm just a lesbian. It's not really confusing if you know the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. Like she just likes women and not men. She's a woman, but she just likes women, cisgender or trans or that. That's it. She's only bi if she likes men too. If she doesn't like men, then she's not bi. But if she likes women, I think that she's a lesbian. Thanks for ruining my night, Diamond, but you're right. I'm not trying to ruin, I'm just trying to get you to understand that you need a higher standard for what love is, because taking you out in public, especially if you are a beautiful girl, I don't know what you look like, but if you are, do you consider yourself beautiful? If you do, you consider yourself beautiful and passable, you can't have take me out in public as your baseline standard, because they're gonna always want to take us out in public, bitch, because we're trophies. That's easy for a passable, beautiful girl to be taken out in public because, oh, nobody knows. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Nobody knows that there's a dick between your legs. Just me. Ooh, just me. So they don't have to they don't have to contend with the social consequences because you've done the work. You're passable. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, come on, trans lesbianism. Thank you. You've done the work. So they can invest. Oh, you one of those girls I can take out in public. I can get the intimacy. I can get the, I can treat you like a regular girl, even though I know you're not. So that can't be the standard for passable girls. Now, if a girl is not passable, it shouldn't be the standard for her either. But at least she knows when she goes out in public, he's gonna, based on what their interaction, that he's gonna have to deal with something with people knowing that she's trans. And so that is a step in the right direction. And if he's like, fuck it, yes, that's a beautiful thing. I'm not trying to undermine the value of somebody taking you out in public, but it can't be it can't be the baseline. It can't be the peak of what you consider love. Like, no, because anybody can take you out in public, girl. Especially if you're a beautiful trans woman. Anybody. They can do that. Oh, ain't nobody gonna know. I was with a man for 5 years who had no issues with taking me out in public, but he still was DL. There has to be more than that. There has to be a level of care. There has to be a level of care and investment in your happiness and life that's not rooted in the outside culture It's not it's not only is it not rooted in the outside culture, it's not swayed by the outside culture. That's what you want. You want this person to be with you because he loves who you are in its totality. He wants to incorporate his life with yours. That's the first sign of a motherfucker who wants to be with you. He wants to incorporate his life with yours. And that investment is not swayed by outside shit. It's not swayed by his family. It's not swayed by society's norms. It's not so swayed by other people, his church opinion. It's not swayed. It was like, this is my baby. This is gonna be my baby, whether you know or not. And we making this shit work. This is what we doing. Bye, Diego. Thanks for stopping in. Now, if he's taking you out in public, it's a good start. It's a good sign. I had to turn off that thing and come up in here. Turn off what? Period. He took you to dinner, the same place he takes the other trans women. And the cis women and anybody else who is passable enough. Pray away, sorry. Yeah, it's I watched the whole thing because I think that's interesting. I think the self-righteousness of church people and the hypocrisy, the idea that I think that I can be your way to salvation, I think that's self-righteous. We all have our own personal relationship with God, with the creator, with whoever, with Allah, whoever your ideal spiritual entity is. We all have a personal relationship with that. And I always wonder, I always think about the people who, like when we think about Jesus was an enemy of the state. That's why he was murdered. Right? So if you think about it in new age woke context, Jesus was an enemy of the state. He was an organizer. He was an enemy of the state, and that's why he was killed. It wasn't the state law and the religious leaders of the time, because they were against what he had going on. These was outliners. Outliners. He was hanging with, I know this is cliche to say, but it's the real shit. He was hanging with the thieves and the murderers and the prostitutes. He was hanging with the sinners. And also a element that I think people don't talk about Jesus enough is there was times when Jesus, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like when he was in the wilderness and he was like, why has thou forsaken me? Like even he was questioning God. Like, what the fuck is going on? This doesn't feel right. I don't know what, and I need to know what's going on. I need you to, I need to talk to you. Ask you for your guidance, especially today when my life seems so cloudy. Guide me until I'm sure I open up my heart. That's what that song is about. Questioning. What the fuck? What is going on? That's what Jesus was doing. What is happening here? So to act like that he was just sure of his purpose is not real. To act like he was just like, I know exactly what's going on. is not real, and I think it does a disservice to the people who are questioning or who are going down paths that are not really, they are not really for sure on. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't. And there are some people who I feel, and I've talked about this before. When Jesus was talking about the eunuch and how, if this is the path that leads them to the to the kingdom, that's let them accept it. And I'm speaking from a Christian context. I'm not a Christian, but I was raised in Christianity, and you don't have to believe in the Bible. I'm giving context because the show was from a Christian, from an Abrahamic religion perspective. And so even when you think about it from the Bible perspective, even the main, I don't want to call him a motherfucker just out of respect, but the main person was questioning and and going back and forth, like, what is happening here? Like, what the fuck is going on? So the idea that a person, a fucking mere human, could come and try to get me together and call me a demon, who the fuck? You ain't got nobody hell to put me into. So the self-righteousness of the people in this show was quite annoying. Now I know that one of the tenets of being a Christian is you supposed to convert people. But you just supposed to tell them about the joy of Christ. And actually, they say they supposed to see it on you. They supposed to see it in your works. When I'm looking at these motherfuckers on these shows, I don't see the work. I don't see the work. There is no way. You know who the closest people, the people who the closest to nobody ever has ever got me to the point where I'm questioning my transness. Never. But people who wanted me to, who would have led me to be invested in Christianity, it's these motherfuckers that's out here that are Christian, that, baby, I ain't worried about what you got going on. Have you eaten? I ain't worried about that shit. So do you have a place to stay? Yeah, I understand that's what you got going on. That's cool. We can talk about that later, but is your health care straight? Like, what do you need something? I'm out here organizing to take care of people's needs. That's we can deal with that on a whole nother level later. But I'm out here trying to. Those are the people that I'm like, that's what the Bible was talking about. When I could see the Lord in your work. Those are the people that make me want to believe in Christ and make me want to be a Christian and remember the faith that I had when I was little. Those are the ones that I feel like really can touch you if you're in need of touch. Because let's talk about it. This is the controversial part. I think there are some people who I think who are queer because of trauma. I've talked about this before. I think that there are circumstantial gays, and I think that there are natural gays. I think that there are people who have been molested, have been, like, women, not all women, but some women who has been molested, who have been raped, who have been harmed by men that have found a soft, tender place in other women. And so their natural inclination is not to be gay, but their environment led them to be gay. And that's okay for me. But I do think that there are some people whose choice to act on their homosexuality can be driven by trauma. I do think that there are some people out here, not all. Like I said, I think that there's some people who are just naturally. I ain't never been molested, and here I go. I like what I like. But I do think, those people who, I'm this person, I'm this bullied, or outliner person who motherfuckers didn't fuck with in high school, but the gay boy or the gay people really made me feel cool because they were cool as hell. So it led me to experimenting, and it led me to have these feelings about being queer. It wasn't my natural inclination to be queer, but I like these motherfuckers. So I'm about to come and duck walk. Yeah. I'm gonna come and duck walk and get engulfed in the culture, so I look and act and smell like a gay man, because this is the people that accepted me. So I'm going to get engulfed in this culture. But then when 10 years, 20 years go by, my natural inclination is like, I think I might like women. Or, I like women too. I do think there are some people there. And so if they're on the fence, or if they need some guidance, for me, I think those people who don't worry about that gay shit, man, those are the ones to me that have the most power to be able to lead somebody out of healing that trauma, if that's where they are. Traumatized people are the most violent in our community. I don't know. Could be. Yeah, but it was the self-righteousness for me. And then it was self-righteous. I couldn't feel sorry for any of the transform guys. They were profiting from the movement, and the money dried up. Keep it real. But also, we have to watch how capitalism can ruin um, the integrity of movements. Now, this is not saying that there was, I, I think people could start something off from a good place. People are just struggling with homosexuality. Our organization thinks that homosexuality is wrong, blah, 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 blah. So let's actually help these people who are dealing with this. That right there could be a genuine feeling of, we are trying to help people who are struggling with this. Okay. But then when you bringing in the clinical psychologist and creating a whole symbiotic relationship of monetization of these people's trauma, that's when the integrity goes out the window. It's crazy. Do these people think that a being so incredibly powerful and mighty would care who they sculpting? I revel in those spaces of self-actualization through kinship. He's a shame to be with. Of course, it could lead to violence. Just avoid those types. Mm. I just think the strategy is off. I think when you start to monetize it, it throws the integrity away. I think when you start to bring money into it, I'm not trying to save you. It's kind of like when we were talking about in a meeting, we were discussing like new, more progressive housing alternatives, for to create for my org, right? If you're trying to eliminate homelessness, basing your structure fully on having homeless people within your facility actually sets you up to be invested to always have homeless people in your facility. So there always need to be homeless people for your facility to exist. So it can come a point when you have to decide, oh, if like say I have a whole trans org of housing trans women. Now, I don't think that this could happen for the general population as a cisgender, like the cisgender whole, because there's so many things that can lead to people unsheltered. But a small concentrated demographic like trans people, it actually is possible to get every single trans person in your city off the street. Like it's actually possible permanently. If you invest some money in it, it's actually literally possible because this is such a small group of people. It's actually possible to actually do that. So if you have a organization that houses homeless trans people, it could, excuse me, ooh, yeah, it could actually get to a point where you get people off the street and get them in their own housing, and you don't have nobody in your facility no more because you have gotten people off the street in their own housing. And so now, where you gonna get the funding from if you ain't got no people to house? See what I'm saying? It could lead you to making not so decisions that are not filled with integrity because you're trying to keep your institution open. And that's just a small example of, you know, I think when you start putting capitalism into the mix, it's inevitable that it's going to be some stuff happening that aren't that full of integrity. And then the decisions that you're making, are they rooted in the care of the person? Or are they rooted in the money? Like, remember when that girl on the show said, that girl on the show said, I had got raped while I'm this whole program about being gay, about not being gay and anti-gay and da 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 and being reformed from being gay. I'm in college and I get raped by this guy. And the guy, her coach, her mentor said, you should put that in your testimony. But she's telling him, I don't really want to talk about my rape. I don't really want to talk about it. And because he was not rooted in her care, he didn't really give a fuck about her care. He prioritized the movement, the testimony to move people over her care. That is a red flag, honey. Anybody that is pushing you to that kind of level just because, ooh, that testimony will move so many people. When you're not ready to talk about it, yes, some testimonies, when you're ready to talk about it, can be powerful. Powerful. But if you literally are not ready to talk about it and you still working through it and they're pushing you, that's a red flag. These motherfuckers don't care about you. Service work that is effective has an expiration date because the cause of that need is eradicated. It has an expiration date. If your service work doesn't have an expiration date, I'm not gonna trust it. You're right. Everybody who I know that does good service work, they are shifting and adjusting and ending and beginning new things every year, because if your shit was effective, there was some type of result that was good, because shit will be eradicated. Exactly. They did discuss shame, particularly how they regretted being against the LGBT community, only for them to end up denouncing the anti-ex-gay movement. That was quite annoying to me. When that guy was like, when Prop 8 passed and he saw his community crying and breaking down on the news, and that was got to him. I wrote an article recently, and one of the things I said, I feel like, let me see if I can find it so I can say the exact words. Yes, I say, our death and despair should not be the catalyst to reveal our humanity. Stories about trans people usually are focused on our tragedy, our dysphoria, our marginalization. But these stories don't often connect the misfortune and how this is a direct result of policies and cultural norms that do nothing to protect us, that actually destroy us. So that's what I mean. It's like I got to be crying and harmed and blood and bleeding and dead for you to see my humanity. You can't see my humanity just by standing here in your face. I have to be dying, beat, bloody. I got to go viral in a video of me getting attacked for you to donate. I got to it got to be a girl that done got murdered for you to care. You don't know how many times we done got surges of donation at our organization because some girl has died. But when we put some fundraising call out to keep people alive, to give people services, dust. Like, it's dust, tumbleweeds, dust, dry lint. But somebody died. Oh, money, 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 money. We just put out. We was feeding people for COVID. Like when COVID first hit and motherfuckers needed food and shit, we was feeding people. Motherfuckers was not worried about it. But soon as a bitch die, soon as the girl get jumped in Minnesota, ooh, we want to give. Not saying that that's not a good time to give too, but there are good things that people are doing that need your funding year round, that saves lives. Like we shouldn't have to be traumatized, dead, or that shouldn't be the catalyst of you seeing our humanity. It just isn't. RSIE talks about this topic on March's plate. There is more to marginalized people than their pain and their struggle. We have joy, dreams, and aspirations, etc. Absolutely. That's why she's doing great work in San Francisco, because she is it's not just rooted. It's just not rooted in our harm, in trauma. She's trying to create joy and dreams and aspiration and do shit big for the community, which is why I love her. Which is why she's one of my closest friends. I love her in the trans community. Alrighty, so we on the last 30 minutes. What y'all want to talk about? Watch the show on Netflix, Pray Away. It is really, really good. I think it's powerful. I think it's balanced too. You know, he showed the current people in the movement and other people. So yeah, check it out. I think it's an entertaining watch. These lime flaming hots, baby. Not just the regular flaming hots, but like the lime, flaming hot lime or lemon. Bitch, this shit is so good. I feel so bangy when I eat these, but I feel so sickening because they're so good. They brought the hot popcorn back. Work. I haven't seen it. Andale, andale, andale. I live. I'm trying those lime hots, the flavor combo. No, it's just a tangy hot to me. Yeah, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I don't see any new people. Banji and Latino word. How was your trip, Diamond? You have fabulous time. So I recently um went to Hawaii. I put some pictures up on my Instagram. Man, it was so beautiful. We got to do so much. Such a retreat and beautiful time. I love it there. It's so good. I'm going to New York. So I'm going to New York on the 20th through the 23rd. What is that? This month? It will be my last trip of the summer. Yes, I did take pictures. They are on my Instagram, Diamond Styles. I'm if you need me on any social media that you like, it's Diamond Styles. DIAMONDSTYLZ. Zammy Styles. There used to be this trans girl that lived in my apartment complex named Stacy. And y'all remember how yeah, I don't know what the movie is called because I never watched the movie. I just watched the clip. Do y'all remember that movie with Bow Wow and his baby mama was Tiana Taylor? I don't know, remember the name of the movie, but Bow Wow's baby mama was Tiana Taylor. And she was real annoying. I always argue with him. And she would say his name, his character name was Byron. And every time she said his name, she was like, Byron, Byron. Like real loud and ghetto. I can't remember the name of the movie. But I know you hear me, Byron. And every time Stacy would see me in the apartment, she would say my name just like that. What's tea, Miss Diamond? Real loud and gay. I used to be like, nah, but she was hilarious. What's tea, Miss Diamond? Let me look at my schedule. Schedule. All right. So, yes, on the 20th through the 23rd, I will be in New York City. Um, and I will be there for the Batty Brigade. If you don't know who the Batty Brigade is, it is my podcast collective. That is me, my podcast called Marsha's Plate, and Tea with Queen and Jay, Queer Walk the podcast, Inner Hoe Uprising, and Bag Ladies. All of us are doing an event on not an event. I'm sorry, it's a gathering of us on that Saturday. But I'm flying in on Friday so I can have some fun in New York City, and I'll be there till Monday. So Sunday and Friday I will be free. So if you have any events, particular events that are, honey, I can participate and get a coin. Hit me up, or whatever, if you got something going on that weekend. Or if you know the hot spots to hang out, let me know. But yes, I will be there. What other trips did I take? Um, I would be going to San Antonio, that which is like 2 hours away. I don't even be thinking that's a trip, but it's like 2 hours away because my brother is training there, and for Labor Day weekend, he is bringing his son. His baby mama is bringing his son to San Antonio, so I will meet my nephew for the first time. It's been really hard to meet him because they live in like a obscure place. It's not like, oh, like if they lived in like a regular city, I could fly to the city and I would have did that. But I don't drive. So they live in a place that I would have to fly into the city and then rent a car and drive to them. I don't drive. So so I can't do that. Sherry, I feel like I'm just lurking, but I love to hear your opinion on things, even if I know nothing of what you're talking about. Your picture looks great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Sherry. And lurking is good. Make sure you thumbs up. And if you hear something that, if you hear something that resonates, honey, thumbs up. I pray y'all make great memories. Yes, I hope we do too. What else? What else? What else? What else? Mmm, Byron. I'm over here banging your new joints like they're number ones on the billboard. Really, I have new music that I let my sister listen to that I haven't put out yet. I'm trying to decide, you know, what I'm gonna do. Can't wait for y'all to hear it. If you like music, I do have my music posted on my SoundCloud. I love. Let me see if I can share. Boom. Here's my playlist of my music on my SoundCloud. I do original content. I do covers. Um, yeah, any type of musical stuff that I do, I put on my SoundCloud because it's easy and fun. There's also musical videos on my YouTube. I just haven't done one in a long time. I did a cover of All the Things Your Man Won't Do. They won't let me post it on SoundCloud because I think the track that I use is the original instrumental, the original like backing track. I didn't know it was, but it was. And so I have to it's flagging me for copyright shit. So I will be posting it on YouTube because YouTube will at least let me post it. They not even let me post the motherfucker. So I think I'm gonna put that up for folks to listen to. Oh, and also for my members only people, a video is coming. What do y'all want to hear about in the escort business? So we've already talked about getting starting, like tricking and getting paid for sex. We've talked about getting started, like what your first client is like. We already talked about that. And we talked about the type of service that you are going to be and how to advertise. What else do y'all want me to talk about in the conversation? Because if you don't know, the series that I do in my members only section is about sex work, like my experiences in sex work. What else do y'all want me to explore? I'm editing the next episode now, but I'm thinking about what else. I want to make sure I explore what y'all want me to explore. So if you are a member of my channel and you have joined already, let me know what y'all think. Mia's dad was hilarious in this past podcast episode. Y'all should do a shot every time he said doing the most. That's why I called it doing the most. That's why I called it doing the most, because he said it so much. If you haven't already listened, check it out. He was so different than Mia's dad. I mean, Z's dad, because Mia's dad is unapologetically black, and Z's dad is one of those black dudes who tries to impress non-black people. I think, based on his dating history and that's my opinion. So he tried to give a different facade. Collaboration or perhaps attempt to work with other people. Oh, interesting. My first time working with another escort was with Ty. Me and Ty did a double one time. Back in like 04. She's in the chat. I haven't done, there's only two people that I've actually done business like that with. Like a tag team, her and my gay mom. Your post on IG about billionaires trying to leave strong. Oh, definitely. When he didn't want to give his age, but already told us he was born in 64. He's like, I done got caught up. I'm like, nigga, you already told us your ass is born in 64. We had so much fun. after after the show, he was like, "Man, I like you. You cool as hell." I was like, "Thank you." He was so fun and cool and down to earth. I don't even remember how it ended. Oh, that'll be fun. Trying to think of. That part had me cracking up too. I went to surprise and got surprised. I was cackling, bitch. Wig coming off and nuts hanging out. I ain't even talking about that one. I'm talking about the real client. That was just a piece of trade. Remember we had that real client upstairs in my house? Not the tray at the apartment on 38. I'm talking about the real client. Right before we went to Mexico to get pumped. That was just a trade, child. That was hilarious, man. Hilarious. We want to hear about the wigs coming off and nuts hanging out. That wasn't escort business. That was just us young, hot in the ass trannies having trade off the street. Young teenage, young early 20s hot girls, baby. Having hot girl summers. Oh, we were teenagers then. No, yeah, we were teenagers. That's not really a story. That's like I can tell that real quick. How much time we got? Okay, we got for 20 minutes. That's not really a story. So, like 16, 17, out of my clique, I was the only one who had my own apartment. So, they would come over my house. At this time, I don't know if you want me to tell that business. I ain't gonna tell that. So all my friends would come over my house, and because if you weed, right, you can, you can, you can have fun because ain't no adults. Ain't no adults there. It's my apartment. It's Diamond's apartment, so you can kind of just be free. So people would come over. The Dykes will come over and fucking smoke weed. The Dykes and their brothers, and the trade will come over and smoke weed and hang out. And it just was it could be anybody at random ass fucking times at my house because I was in the age group where everybody was living with their parents and you could be free at my apartment. So the first time I seen some pussy get ate was in my apartment because the lesbians was dyking it out in my room. It was lit. It was litty. It was lit, baby. It was hella lit, as my California girls would say. It was hella lit. So it was me, Keever, which is Kiki Wyatt's brother. Me, Keever, and Deja. And what we would do, I live on at the intersection of these two major streets in Indianapolis, 38th Street and College. I worked across the street at the rallies. So anytime I got off work, I could just go home, get all cute, and we could stand on the corner like we prostituting, but we not. We could stand like there was these steps that was like right at the street. It wasn't even like it wasn't even like grass. It was like steps up to the apartment right next to the street. So we could sit on them steps in our little cute little outfit, and the boys would be walking past, stopping to come try to holler. We could, I call it scumming. We could be scumming. We could be scumming because this is like the threshold of the east side of the city. So if you lived on the east side and you was coming from like downtown, or you were coming from the west side, you would have to drive past this intersection. So wherever you was going to go home, you would have to drive past this intersection unless you went the highway way, but that was too out of the way. So you would have to go through 38 because wasn't no highway going, and it would be out of the way for you to do that. So this area, it was the boys driving and bumping. And this is a time when the internet hadn't homogenized all the culture. If you hear a car bumping, boom, 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 boom. If you hear that 9.999 times out of 10, that's a hood nigga in a car. It's gonna be a black boy. Now you hear hip hop and shit. It could be a white boy. It could be a white girl. It could be a Latino boy. In this time, which was 98, 99, you hear the bumps and the beats and shit like that. It was more likely a nigga. That's just what it was. So we could sit on the steps, on the porch, and be looking all cute, and the dudes would be driving past, with the cars. We could hear them, and we would be running outside trying to hear because we could hear the beats coming. It was popular for the car to be banging. You could just hear it. Now I don't even hear that much in the cars no more. Like it was popular to have the sound system like rumble in your car where you could just hear it. Honey, we would come outside, baby. And so we all looking cute. And we got the smorgasbord of what you like. You got Ty, she 5'4", skinny, chocolate, big booty shorts. I'm tall, skinny, model-esque, light skin. we run the game, or whatever you like, we got to hear, baby. And so, sometimes the niggas will stop. Sometimes they clock it. Oh, I still hear it here in East Baltimore. Word. No, you will hear it, but I know here in Houston, when you hear the beats banging, it's not always a black boy. It could be anywhere. But in Indianapolis at that time in 99, 98, that was some type of hood nigga coming through. And so I can't remember. I remember the guy. So say we sitting on a thing and we would be cracking up. We would be kikiing, da, 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 da. So sometimes dudes will pull up and they wouldn't clock. We would be like, yes, we're it out. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they would clock, baby. Sometimes they'll pull up and clock our tea and skirt off. That would be funny. We would be cracking up. Shit would be funny. Sometimes it'll be a nigga that you can tell know the tea and just trying to get freaky. It's so many things that could have happened in this moment. And so this particular time, It was so this dude had to be like early 20s, but you got to understand that we teenagers, we like 16, 17. You feel what I'm saying? We definitely under 18. Definitely under 18. Definitely. So um so we would so niggas that would see us, we look like young girls. We look like either young trannies or young girls to them. And so this dude, he probably was around like 28, maybe like 28. He pulls up, he's chocolate, he fine. We like, what's up? Da, 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 talking. And we get, you get to talking back and forth, like what's the tea, what's gonna happen, blah, 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 blah. And he like, shit, I'll take all of y'all. Oh, will you? Well, let's see what it gives then. So, honey, he do a little U-turn around the corner, park. We get in. We all come in the house. He come on in the house, and we start letting him have it. All three of us. Me, Kiever, and Deja, and we start letting him have it. So we gobbling his meat. Deja's putting her titties in his face. Kiever's sucking his balls. I'm sucking a dick. And so while we sucking a dick and Kiever licking his balls, we look up and Deja whole nuts is hanging down in our face. And Kiever starts snickering. I'm like, what are you laughing at? And I was like, and I look up and the nuts is like right here. And Kiever do them like this. And we all just start busting out laughing, like killing the whole sexual vibe. It is no longer sexy anymore. It is hilarious and funny, and we are laughing. We are really over this sexual situation, so we end up putting him out. We end up putting him out like, okay, baby, it's time for you to go. We done. We cackling. We childish and cackling now. And we are getting our life. And we kind of over it and we're done. So it's time for you to go, honey. Have a wonderful day. He had greater BBC energy from the car to the doorway. Yes. His piece wasn't as sickening, but it was cool. But once we got to cackling, it was over, child. We laughing now because we fucking teenagers. And we was not feeling the rest of the session, so we put him out. He was over it, but bye-bye. Yeah, it wasn't no big long ass story. It was just what happened. It was funny. She was in the moment, feeling her tranny fish. And honey, she wanted to be free. So yes, that is what happened there. I lived. Who is this? Send me a message. Oh, Quinn becomes first out trans Olympian. Come on now. Soccer player Quinn has made history for trans athletes, becoming the first athlete to win gold at the Olympics on Friday. Canadians faced Sweden in the women's soccer's gold medal. It was a tight game that went into extra time, and when the team couldn't break the tie, the gold medal was decided by penalty kicks. The victory marks the first women's soccer match ever decided by penalty and the first ever gold medal for women's soccer in Canada. So he is playing on the women's team and he got the gold. And Quinn says, I don't know if I don't see their pronouns. Let me check. I think he's just a guy. Quinn was previously won a bronze medal with the team in 2016 before coming out as transgender. It is they and non-binary in September. So they are non-binary. They're not, well, they're trans, but non-binary trans. I want to be visible to queer folks who don't see people like them on their feeds. Come on, Quinn. I know it saves my life years ago. I want to challenge his people to be better allies. It's a process, and I know it won't be perfect. But if I could encourage you to start, then it's something that's powerful to me. I love it. I feel optimistic for change, change in legislature, change in rules, structures, and mindset. The fight isn't close to over, and I'll celebrate when we're all here. Work, Quinn. Congratulations. Olympic gold, trans person. Work. I haven't been keeping up with the Olympics. Are they almost over? Kieran and snatched his wig off. Yes, the wigs was snatched off because it was getting hot. My wig was not snatched off. I was still being a lady. But Kieran and snatched his wig off. It just was, it was just free. I haven't been following the Olympics. I'm over it. I'm kind of over it. This sess is over with now. Hey, yeah. Guy Rome, you look like old Romy Rome. He looks like my friend Trey, a lot like my friend Trey. My friend Trey. I believe in you and me. Da da ba ba ba. Da da. I'm loving it. Hey, 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 yeah. The North remembers. The Matrix, the full trilogy, is on Netflix. I will be binging that tonight. Getting my life. I like my box. Da da. I've lived for the Olympics this year. Black Americans, Jamaicans, trans folks have been visible boots, so I feel seen. Yes, they have. It's been wearing it out. I live. I would love to see a documentary on the Black church and its relationship with queer Black community. Pray Away was good, but very white centered. But I actually think their tactics are white centered. I think conversion therapy period is white centered because I think Black people, I wish you would have brought this up earlier, Brandon. I think Black people, I don't think that their strategy is to convert you. I think their strategy is to hide you. You just don't talk about that. I don't think Black people's, not saying that it's not somebody out there that's trying to convert you, but I think you just don't do it. You just don't act on it. You pray about it. You be celibate. You just don't do it. You just don't talk about it. You don't be going to no gay clubs. You don't be, you know what I'm saying? You just hide it. I think their tactic is more you hide it. You don't you don't, you know what I'm saying? That's why we see the ministers of music still having leadership roles in the church, but you don't be acting on that. You don't be having the trade. You don't speak about it. The white people is like, ooh, let me send you to this conversion camp and make you not be gay. They're trying to literally convert you. Let me send you now. Now, this is a whole other conversation. I feel weird in my titty. Hold on. I don't know what's happening, but it felt weird. Hmm. Yes. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. This is a whole other conversation, but you know, Dr. Montanique McGecker, she said this many times. She was like, she feels like the mental health profession deserve um uh, she feels like they need to give queer people reparations. There's so many erased histories of queer people being put in mental facilities for being gay by their parents, by their family, getting lobotomized, getting electric shocked, like actually being put in facilities. This was more focused on the groups, like, the really, you just come to groups, you come to little conferences and shit. But there's actually people who have been put in mental facilities and lobotomized and electric shocked to try to get them to not be gay. And so, yeah, it's I think those things have happened. I think those things, you know, just like they did with women, put them in facilities to control them, put them in facilities to get access to their money that was passed down to them. That's what they, that's what they that's what they would do. And so I think that's a whole other conversation. I would love for somebody to do the research on those type of things. Like we're doing, like same thing we're doing for the Native American people when it comes to those schools, those kids that's being buried. They, like, somebody know that shit happened. There's documentation of those things happening. Somebody knows, but it's just been hidden because it's disgusting. But somebody knew. Somebody went with that grave, and somebody, passed that information on, and somebody is holding on to it, and now it's being exposed. I wish that there was across the country some type of reckoning that happened with old facilities that used to exist, and go through their records and see, and uncover um black women who was killed or die in these facilities, queer people who were killed or die in these facilities. I think if we uncover that in the same thing, that way that we're doing with the Native children, it will be a whole other beast, especially now that they have closed a lot of the state funded facilities and have put those some people out on the street. I would love to see the records where they probably done destroyed a lot of them because it's been a long time. Um, when did um when did Central State close, Day? Do you remember Central State? When did Central State close in Indianapolis?
1994. According to less than B greater than Indiana less than B greater than University School of Medicine. Central State Hospital operated in Indianapolis from 1848 until it closed in 1994, in a move toward community-based care for the mentally ill. A few
Yes,
log cabins housing the insane of Indiana preceded Central State.
gotcha. All right, thank you. So yeah, like, I mean, imagining who all was in Central State, because there was a lot of, we know there's a lot of history. Yeah, 94, that's right before high school. That's right when we met. It met the year we met in September. So September, yes, girl, it's September 21st. So yeah, we would have no we met in 94, so it had to be fall of 94. So it was closing when we met. But the black church will use queer people as long as they can benefit for 30 years, I believe. Yeah. Oh, wait. As long as they can benefit for their talent, absolutely. Medical records on the of that caliber are required to be maintained for 30 years, I believe. Yeah, so if it was 94, that's been gone. And this is just one facility. This is the facility that was in the city that I grew up in. Um, so if it was started in 1848, imagine the bullshit that was happening from 1848. That's pre-slavery. 1848 to 1994. Imagine all the shady bullshit, racialized oppression that went through this location amid long-standing look. It says it amid long-standing rumors of patient abuse. That's in 94. Imagine what was going on in 1848. Crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I might do a deeper dive in that. I might do a deeper dive in that. Some cases. Because there has been some, when it comes to people who with mental illness or retardation, is that the right word? I don't know if that might not be politically correct anymore. But mental illness or anything that's like make them mentally handicapped. There have been cases like the Buck versus Bell. Is that what it is? Yeah, a law in Virginia, Buck versus Bell. It was rooted. Some of the anti-abortion laws that we have today and cases that we see today is like the roots of that is Buck versus Bell because she was a mentally handicapped woman. She was sterilized um because she was mentally handicapped, and folks was her fucking family was fucking raping and molesting her, and in order for her not to get pregnant again and keep having other mentally handicapped babies, so they said, they forced sterilize her. Buck versus Bell. Maybe this could be a BBB mashup. I have some things that I'm trying to fundraise to do to actually for us actually to do some work and get paid for it for us to do that. So I am trying to work on that as we speak. So yeah, I'm trying to do that to protect the Constitution. Da, 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 da. Yes, so yes, Buck versus Bell. That's a case that you might want to read up on if you are into like that kind of history buff type of stuff. Buck, Buck versus Bell, Bell. Buck versus Bell. Um, and also look into this is a different kind of context, but look into Skinner versus Oklahoma. That's one of the first cases of criminal sterilization in 1938, where somebody who is a habitual offender um, allows the state to sterilize that person if they have been convicted of 3 or more times of crimes. It doesn't make a distinction on whether or not that is like sexual crimes. So that could easily be some way for them try to sterilize black folks. But yes, y'all. Um, check out Pray Away and make sure y'all thumbs up. I will talk to y'all later. It's 2:09. Um, yeah, I don't got nothing else to talk about. But we will chat, and I am about to watch The Matrix, and I will see y'all next week. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Bye.